Yo boys, FaZe Doritos here. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about the patch notes that are coming on Tuesday. Well, when you guys watch this, it will be Tuesday. But let's talk about these patch notes real quick, alright? And I don't understand this. First of all, Shadow is getting a buff to everything. I heard they're getting a nerf to like Shadow Word Death, and their healing is getting nerfed, but you know, these changes alone are just huge. Like flat out damage increase to every single one of their like consistent damage spells. Assassination, all ability damage reduced by 3%, and then Fatal Concoction's damage bonus for weapon poisons reduced to 10%, was 15, which is, it's good, but it's not as amazing as I thought it would be. Malefic Rapture damage, Drain Soul, Shadow Bolt, Pandemic Invocation is a new talent, I'm assuming, because I don't know what the fuck it is. But Malefic Rapture damage increased by 15% is not going to really change the game. This is more of like a PvE change if I think about it, because you get more globals in PvE, so this damage is going to really matter in PvE, but in PvP it's not going to matter as much. Now Drain Soul damage, you press Drain Soul a lot when you have a Nightfall proc, but outside of that you're never pressing Drain Soul. So that damage is relevant, but it's not too crazy, right? When you look at this change though, this Demonology change, as a caster, this is nice. This is a nice change for a caster. Call Fel Hunter now 60 seconds was 30, which means they're going to have less CC for you more consistently. You're not going to have to juke kick as often when you're versing a Demo Warlock, which is great. Now with Destruction, the damage bonus on their Chaos Bolt is going to be 5% increase, which is not the only thing they're getting. If I scroll down here. Where is it? Warlock Destruction, Chaos Bolt damage increased by 15%, Shadow Burn 30%, Incinerate 30%. So what they're doing here is they're going to increase the damage of everything. I think Mage Lock is going to make a return into the meta. You're going to see a lot of like double caster with Destro coming out. It's going to be really annoying, but you know, you're just going to have to sit that pillar and just play the long game. Outside of that, you know, Affliction is looking really grim now because we have less HP. We're getting a 10% stamina nerf. We're getting Soul Burn Port duration reduced to 6 seconds in PvP, which is huge. Soul Burn Drain Soul no longer is going to grant a shield when you're above full HP, which is pretty nice. Before I could just drain life, right? Have a decent shield while being full HP, so I can kind of pre-go, but you can't really do that too much anymore. Soul Burn Hellstone healing is reduced to 20%, was 30. That's another big nerf because you're going to have less survive when you pop your stone, and it already feels like nothing because most of the time when you pop it, right, you have a rogue on you, you're about to die, you Soul Burn Hellstone, the guy shivs you, right, so you have less healing on your stone anyway. We're getting a huge defensive nerf, but I don't feel like our dots are getting buffed. Our direct damage, meaning our Drain Soul, our Malefic Rapture, you know, like when you press a button it does damage, those kind of abilities, those abilities are getting buffed, but those aren't the abilities we needed to be buffed. The buttons we needed to be buffed were our dots. Our dots are not ticking as hard as they should be. When you watch me play games, you're noticing that I don't do damage until like 2 minutes into the game. Or if they completely ignore me and they're not doing enough pressure on my other DPS or healer that I don't have to peel, that's when I'll do damage. But if I have to peel, then I'm going to do consistently less damage, and I'm not going to be nearly as scary, right? These warrior changes are looking pretty juicy though. You know, war paint damage reduction to 5% was 10, so they're going to be a little bit more squishy. That feels nice. And the rogue nerfs are definitely, I'm noticing them, and they're gonna feel like something's different, but I don't feel like it's gonna really fix the game. Sub with Secret Technique being nerfed is pretty good, but you know, Shadow Strike is still a thing. Shadow Strike still hits for like a majority of your health bar. And the biggest thing with the game right now is I feel like mages, let's see if I can find mages. Believe it or not, boys, mages are really good right now just because RMP is a very strong comp. RMP, in my opinion, is not as good as it was in Shadowlands, but it's still a very good comp because mage has instant damage, and if you kick them, the priest is going to start casting. He'll cast mind games, and you'll just die from the mind games, and you won't die from the mage, which sucks. So it's like you stop the priest, then you get the mage free casting. You stop the mage, now the priest is free casting. If you decide to fear the mage and not the rogue, now the rogue is doing insane damage with bleeds. So obviously rogues are getting a nerf, but I felt like mages, they kind of need a nerf in their instant damage department. They're doing a fuckload of instant damage, and Blizzard doesn't look at this, so that's not good. Anyways, boys, I just wanted to make a quick update video to kind of tell you guys that, you know, I don't think Affliction is going to be dead with these changes, but I do think it's going to be harder to play just because of survivability nerfs, and we're going to be a little bit squishier, but I don't think you guys should worry. I think you should keep playing what you want to play, and the game is just going to be different. You know, the meta is going to change, and you're just going to have to adapt. Anyways, boys, have a good one. Peace out.